Madam, shall I start?
Yeah, wait, Chandimal.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So, very good morning to every one of you. Am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Thank you. So, very good morning again to all of you. And it's a nice number. We do have more than 100 students from our very newest batch here in this forum today. And actually, this job was assigned to Dr. Nwanwanya Rachi, my colleague, because he's on another engagement I just got to happen to have in the forum today. However, I really like it because this is going to be a very exciting moment for me as well. So I would say, like, I'm a very proud teacher today to introduce Mr. Chandima Ranatunga to you all for the orientation committee. Chandimal has been a student of mine many years back. He's a product of the Department of Natural Resources, Faculty of Applied Sciences. So we are always proud to say that he's from our faculty. And today serving as a senior lecturer in the Faculty of Management Studies, Sabaragamu University of Sri Lanka. And why have we chosen him for this special and specific talk is, he has been a very outstanding student when he was in the faculty, when he was an undergraduate. He was the student of the year in his graduation during the convocation of his graduation year. He led the swimming team of the Sabaragamu University of Sri Lanka, among many other things that I would just say that once he starts his talk, you would realize how should you balance your undergraduate career or your academic career with extracurricular activities, and what sort of benefits and advantages would it give to you. Let me also take a little more time from you all to give you another example. Like Chandimal, we had some other student in our faculty, in my department actually, who has never done basketball during his school days. But he did basketball once he was in the university, and finally, once he entered the corporate sector later on, he played basketball for commercial teams also. So if you have not been into games, if you have not been into various kinds of other activities during your school time, it does not matter. The university is a university where you're all free for all sorts of adventures. It might be music, it might be games, it might be something else, it might be debating, it might be something else. So make sure that you take it to the fullest. You make it an opportunity for all sorts of adventures, all sorts of new things to experience, to start, to initiate during this time, because this time would never come again in your lives, right? So with that small message and with so much pride, let me introduce our speaker today, who is none other than our own Chandimal, right? Chandimal, I'm very happy that I've been here for this forum last year as well. I remember I've been introducing you to the last year's orientation program also. Anyway, today, however, it came to my hands this time as well. So let me thank you on behalf of the Faculty of Applied Sciences as well, because you have been such a great companion all the time. Whenever we needed you, whenever we needed your assistance, your help, you always was really okay with everything. Right. On behalf of the Faculty of Applied Sciences Orientation Committee, let me introduce Mr. Chandimal Ranatunga for today's talk. Over to you, Chandimal.
Thank you very much, madam. As always, it is a great honor me. And this is my second time here for the orientation program. So thank you very much for your introduction. And I would say that we are here because of the teachers like you. So thank you very much, madam, as always. So I think we have quite a big number of students here with us, and I think I am audible enough. And yes, let me share my screen. And so students, very good morning to you all. And I once again I would like to welcome you all for this wonderful place, Sabaragamu University of Sri Lanka. I know that you have been You have been welcomed during the past few days, but let me also welcome you once again to this, I would say, the marvelous destination in one of the marvelous destinations in Sri Lanka, Sabargamo University of Sri Lanka. So even though we are meeting online, I hope that you will be here physically very soon, so that you can get the real essence of that. So I don't have much text on my slides. Rather, I'll be having more pictures, some sort of infographics to share with you. And this is not going to be sort of a lecture, so I am sharing my perceptions. So please do raise your whatever the questions, or if you need any clarifications, please stop me at any place, and you can raise those things. And even if you are not willing to talk, if you are not going to unmute your mics, please share your thoughts on the chat box as well. So yeah, so with that, we will move forward. So the assigned topic for me is to balance academic work and extracurricular activities, which I think not for some students, but for all the students, we have to think this topic thoroughly, because I would say now now it's been quite a while we have been here as students as well as academics, and we are experiencing some kind of declining nature of performance in terms of academic performance as well as extracurricular performance of the students. So we are experiencing some sort of declining, in my point of view. So therefore, this is a very timely needed topic that we need to take forward, right? How you should balance your academic work as well as how you should how you should achieve excellence in your extracurricular activities. So I for me also, I would prefer if this happened to be a physical one, so that I can talk to faces, I can see your expressions, I can feel your expressions, rather talking to a computer camera. But I hope that you guys are there listening to me. So we will have a sort of a very productive session in this time, right? So so this is a little background for to deliver my thoughts, right? So I have been searching for some like statistics over the last few years. So I have referred to this when I was finding different references. I came across into this particular report, which has been published in March this year to 2023. So this explains the future landscape or the architecture of the jobs in the future, right? So let me take some extracts, which are actually the diagrams I have extracted from that report to share with you all. So in this, you can see the top 10 skills which we needed by right now. The top 10 skills as a person that we need to develop by now, meaning 2023 you should have these skills. So just go through them one by one, and then you closely go through, yes, you closely go through one by one and think of what is the gap that you have, what is the gap that you have to fill. So the first one is analytical thinking, the creative thinking, resilience, flexibility, agility, motivation and self-awareness, curiosity and lifelong learning, technological literacy, dependability and attention to detail, empathy and active listening, leadership and social influence, quality control. So those are the 10 most wanted skills in 2023. So just go one by one and just visualize the gaps that you have, and you identify your gaps, and Then we will discuss how you are going to fill those gaps in the coming years, right? So for that, but this is for 2023, and so we cannot think of these skills because we have to think maybe 5 years ahead, right? And maybe 10 years ahead. So therefore, at least we have to develop these skills straight away without wasting much time, and then we have to look for different other levels of skills that we need, different other levels of skills that we need to develop in the future. So I'm not going into detail of this, but you may refer to the diagrams. Okay. Okay, right. So these are the top 10 skill priorities required by businesses, so maybe organizations for 2027, right? So this is a very important point. Now you are getting into the university in 2023, right? And let me add 4 years to that, so that you will be probably graduating by 2027. So by then you have to develop these skills and to match with the business, or the to match with the corporate requirements, right? Maybe that might be deviating from different other sectors, like if you are progressing in higher education, maybe if you are progressing in different areas, different other areas, but majority of you will need to develop these skills or something beyond that by by the time of your graduating. So these are the essential skills that we need to think of thoroughly, so that you better go through this before you are getting into the university. I mean, it has already started, but just have a look up to which level you have already developed and what is the gap that you have to fill, right? So I know that there are close to 200 students here right now. So your levels are different. I know that. So what we have to do by the time of your graduating, so you all have to come to a certain level where you have developed from the place where you are right now, right? So again, the analytical thinking, the first point, and the creative thinking, AI and big data, leadership and social influence. So all these things are there. So those are the skills that we need to develop by 2027. So maybe with the different changes in our environments, right? There are so much of changes are taking place. Our environments are dynamic, are very dynamic, uh, ever than before. So therefore, these things might be changed. Maybe in next year, if they have gone for another analysis, these skills might be differ, but at least we have to look into those, right? So you can see here the total, yeah, the total job growth and loss. 23% of today's jobs will change, right? So most of the time, the conventional types of jobs will be declined, and there will be new sets of jobs arising in the world in the future. So therefore, we have to prepare for that. Not the job market today, not the job market in 2024, but you have to ready for the job market by 2027 or 20 or beyond that. So therefore, you have to match, and you have to develop your skills to match match the requirements of 2027 or 2028. So therefore, don't I encourage you, I advise you not to look at the requirements today itself, but look for the future requirements of the corporates or the businesses. And on top of everything, we will be having other challenges, since I would say the technology or the maybe the machines taking over humans. right? So you can see the analysis here. By 2022, 34% has been acquired by the machine. So they deliver the things that we want. And the humans play only 66%. Look at the analysis for the 2027, the change. So the machines will take on 43% of all the services, all the products that we need. So only the 57% will be delivered by humans. So we have challenges from that end as well. So therefore, we cannot think in anymore. We are not allowed. We are not supposed. We are not supposed to think in conventional ways, but we have to develop advanced thinking skills, and we have to identify the requirements in the future. So therefore, I am repeating that you have to match your skills not for 2023 but for 2027 and beyond. So that is the expectation that you need to achieve. You can see here 44% of workers' core skills are expected to change in the next 5 years, right? So if we happen to analyze the context right now, if we happen to analyze the context and analyze the skills that is required by the businesses and other organizations, we cannot take them as it is right now, because it says that it will change at least by half by the next 5 years. So therefore, that is the requirement that we need to match. And this is another finding by this is yes, again, once again, this is also from World Economic Forum. So they have identified global risks ranked by severity over the short and long term. So they have identified what are the different risks that we have, right? That we have, and for the next 2 years and for the next 10 years. So you can see there are different color-coded labels here. So the red color ones are the societal risks, right? සමාජීය ප්‍රශ්න කියන්න පුළුවන්. And the green color ones are environmental risks. And the brownish color ones, or the orange color ones, are geopolitical ones, right? Which we are very interested in, geopolitics, right? Geopolitics. And the purple color ones are the technological risks, right? And also the blue color ones, actually we don't have blue color labels here, but the economic risks, right? For the next 2 years and for the next 10 years, right? You can see a number of different risks associated into these different risk categories. So we have to look into these as well, right? When we are going to match our skills, we have to analyze and we have to understand what will happen into next 2 years and what will happen in next 10 years, right? In a very yeah, we had a very good session actually in a quite a 3 weeks ago. So we had CEOs from different organizations for that forum. What they said was, even their 5-year plans are also getting unachievable due to the dynamic nature of the things happening around the world, right? මේ වෙන දේවල් ඉතාමත්ම ඩයිනමික්. ඒ කියන්නේ හැම වෙලාවෙම වෙනස් වීමකට ලක් වෙනවා. ඉස්සර වගේ නෙමෙයි, ගොඩාක් changes වෙනවා ඉක්මනින්ම. So there are sudden changes. So therefore we have to be resilient. අපි ඒකට මුහුණ දීමට සූදානම් වෙන්න ඕනේ. සහ we have to build the capacity. ඒවට මුහුණ දෙන්න අපි capacity එක අපි හදාගන්නත් ඕනේ. සහ අපි resilient වෙන්නත් ඕනේ. මොකක් හරි අපිට pressure එකක් ආවොත්, external pressure එකක් ආවොත් අපි කොච්චරක් කාලයක් ගත වෙනවද අපි නැවත යථා තත්ත්වයටපත් වෙන්න. As a persons, as individuals, as organizations, as a country, right? The prominent example is COVID-19. අපිට කොච්චර කාලයක් ගියාද ඒකෙන් නැවත යථා තත්ත්වයටපත් වෙන්න. Now still we are struggling to struggling to the bounce back to the original level, right? Now we are deeply entangled in an economic crisis. අපි දැන් මේ වෙනකොට ලොකු ආර්ථික ප්‍රශ්නයකට මුහුණ දීලා තිනවා. ඒකට ප්‍රධානම හේතුවක් උනේ COVID-19 එකත් එක්ක ආපු ගැටලුව. අපිට ඒ මේ කියන ආර්ථික ප්‍රශ්න ඇති වෙන්න ප්‍රධානම හේතුවක් උනේ මෙතර ඉක්මනින් ඒ කියන COVID-19 ප්‍රශ්නය. ඒකට අපි කොච්චරක් දුරට recover වෙලාද? Right? So therefore, as an individual also, we need to identify the different risks for next 2 years, maybe next 5 years, maybe next 10 years. That also differs from individual to individual. මෙතනින් 180 දෙනාටම තියෙන risks එකිනෙකාට වෙනස්. So therefore, you have to understand your context. Then only you can develop yourself to be more resilient. Right? And this is a map showing it's sort of a network analysis done for all the risks that were identified in the previous slide. Archival issues of Kumar, they are not isolated, right? They are not all these risks for organizations, for individuals like you. All these risks are not isolated. They are interconnected in very complex ways. සමහරවිට ආර්ථික ප්‍රශ්නයි, සමාජ ප්‍රශ්න, පාරිසරික ප්‍රශ්න, දේශපාලනික ප්‍රශ්න මේ ඔක්කොම එකිනෙකට ගැට ගැහිලා තියෙනවා. ඒක නිසා you can't take one out and you can't resolve it because that is connected with other different sets of issues in a very complex way. මේ එක ප්‍රශ්නයක් අරගෙන ඒක අපිට විසඳන්න බෑ. මොකද ඒවා අනිත් ඒවාත් එක්ක ඉතාමත් තදින් බැඳිලා තියෙන්නේ. සමහරවිට අපිට හරිම අමාරු එක ලෙහා ගන්න. Right? So therefore we have to understand that you don't need, actually at this moment you don't need to go in detail, but just think of you as an individual. What are the different risks that you have? What are the different challenges that you have, right, in different contexts? So then how you are going to resolve them? So therefore, whenever you are going to resolve such issues, you need to have a holistic approach. What are the issues? ඔයාලට දැන් ඉස්සරහට issues එන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. Challenges එන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. Unlike in school days, right? No more you are not spoon feeders anymore. So therefore, you need to understand and you need to build your resilience as an individual, and you should develop your capacity to face for that. So that is my other advice. You have to analyze the different challenges. What are the ගැටලු ඒ දේවල් අඳුරගන්න විසඳන්න යනකොට you have to think in a holistic way. ඔයාලා ඒ ගැටලු විසඳ ගන්න යනකොට ඒවා එක අරගෙන හිතන්න නැතුව අපි ඒව ඔක්කොම එකට තියලා අපි මේ ප්‍රශ්න ටික analyze කරලා විසඳ ගන්න අපි උත්සාහ කරන්න ඕනේ. So that is why you are here, right? You know, now you can understand the different challenges and the risks that you have. You can perform your own analysis. Then we'll see what you can do about it. So as we all know, now we have just passed 8 billion people on this planet, right? Maybe couple of months back, we have just passed 8 billion, right? So there are 8 billion people on this planet, right? There are 8 billion people. So the challenges will be multiplied by 8 billion. So they have at least there will be 8 billion challenges, and also there are 8 billion perspectives, right? In this class we have about 200 people, 200 students. So you have 200 perceptions, right? You all have 200 perceptions, and even though you are from different degree programs or from different departments, there are 200, and they do have 200 perceptions, right? We will discuss what are the challenges, and also not only the challenges or the risks, and we'll also identify, we also discuss what are the potentials, of having different perceptions of people in a group, right? What are the competitive advantage that we can achieve, right? So with that 8 billion people, right? For that 8 billion people, of course, we are also included in that number 8 billion. So we all need these needs and wants, right? I would say basically we need housing, we need transport, we need consumables, we need clothing, we need healthcare, we need different services, we need communications. This is also one communication method that we are having right now, right? So these are the different needs and wants this 8 billion people requires, right? This 8 billion people requires. So, and my next point is, so as I said previously, we are in a very dynamic environment. We are in a very dynamic environment in terms of environmental changes, in terms of political changes, in terms of economical changes. So let me take the environmental changes. So as you all know, and as we are experiencing, now we are in a climate crisis. Now we all are in a climate crisis. So the climate crisis is not something happen in the future. It's not something going to happen in 100 years later, but it is happening right now. So we feel it in Belihulla as well. For example, we were not supposed to turn on fans inside the accommodations, but since a quarter, since maybe since 1 year, I have been turning on my fan every day because it's too hot in accommodation facilities as well. So we feel the difference of our climate changes, right? Probably you have experienced the same. So as I said, our environment is of course dynamic, and it is the change is also increasing. The rate of the change is also increasing. වෙනස් වීමත් වේගය වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. So those are the different challenges that we have to face in the future. And the biodiversity loss, right? As humans, as we have progressing into different aspects in developments, we are pushing the biodiversity, the richness into into the reduced levels, right? We are reducing the number of biodiversity, the biodiversity value. We are reducing the biodiversity value. So that is also impacting on us in direct ways, right? Direct and indirect ways. Not only that, the environmental pollution in different compartments in environment are also getting severe year by year. So therefore, these are the three main challenges that we have in terms of environmental challenges: the climate change, the biodiversity loss, and the environmental pollution. And not only that, as I said, but even though we have these environmental challenges, we don't have any other place to live. So we have only this planet for us to sustain, right? And not only that, not only the environmental challenges. So I'm just explaining the dynamic nature of our environments. It meaning that the environmental changes, social changes, and the economical changes. So when it comes to economical changes, I don't think that I need to explain it to you, because we are experiencing it right now in different ways, right? We know the cost of maybe essentials, maybe we know the changes in the cost of production, right? We know the changes of the prices in the prices of the goods, right? And we know how people lose their jobs, we know how people lose their livelihoods. So all these things arising from these economical challenges. And also all these things are interconnected. Yet we can't take out environmental challenges or economical challenges or social challenges into separate compartments, but they are connected in complex ways. And also the economic crisis, right? we are experiencing that ever than before. So I think I don't need to explain it to you, right? So these are the challenges that we have, right? So I would say in one word, these are the sustainability challenges that we are going to face now and in the future, right? And at the same time, we have set up these goals, the global goals for sustainable development to achieve by 2030, right? To achieve by 2030, we have set these goals, which are considered as sustainable development goals. So we have set up nice and very beautiful goals, 17 goals, and we have agreed upon by the countries that we are going to achieve these goals by 2030. But having understood all the things happening around, we don't know where are we heading. So anyhow, if you haven't seen this, I know that we have experienced that even in our degree programs also, students have never seen, they actually they are not aware of these goals, the global goals, sustainable development goals, right? So therefore, we all have a part to play, right? ඒක නිසා අපේ system we have to change our systems, right? We have to change our system. We have to change ourselves, right? Okay. We have to change ourselves, right? We have to change ourselves and we have to change our systems. So we have to do the change, right? We are the changers. We are the change agents. So අපි තමයි මේ දේවල් කරන්න වෙන කවුරුත් අපිට ඇවිත් කරලා දෙන්නේ නැහැ. So as the global community, we have to do such changes to make to go for the sustainable future. Sustainable future in the sense we have to ensure the environmental sustainability, we have to ensure the economic sustainability, and also we have to ensure the social sustainability as well, right? So that's my background, right? So now let me focus into you guys, right? So as a graduate, as a prospective graduate, so what is your contribution? What are the things that you develop, right? So we all are here. You all are here to transform yourself into another level, so that you can effectively contribute to a sustainable future in different aspects. Either you are from sports sciences, or either you are from physical sciences, doesn't matter. Either you are from natural sciences or maybe from food sciences, but you have to contribute in your capacity for a sustainable future, right? For a sustainable future, not only for the study area. So your contribution matters for the entire globe, right? So that is the way that you have to think, not just to achieve not just to get a degree, but to contribute to the entire world, right? So that you for all of you, you have to have that kind of a vision in your mind. Ultimately, we all are contributing for a sustainable future, right? For us and for the future generations to come. So we will see what we can do about it, right? The very first thing, everything is set up, all the things are in place, right? We have a nice environment here in Sabaragamu, and we have set up all the things that you need to do, right, to make the transformation happen, right? So now we have taken you, so your input, and the process is there. So you will be going through that process, and you will be transformed into capable graduates, so effective graduates at the end. You should be. So now we will see how you can do that, right? How you are going to develop yourself from where you are and for the expected levels, and ultimately how you can contribute to maybe how you can contribute to the global issues, or maybe how you can contribute for a sustainable future for all of us, right? So you can see it's a very calming environment, right? In the morning, if you walk around, you will forget all your stresses, right? In this environment, right? It is so much refreshing, and we love that, right? So we love that. So probably you guys will, and so get that. I mean. Get ready to blend with that environment so that the transformation will be smooth. ඔයාලගේ මේ ඔයාලා ගන්න යන change එක මේ ඉස්සරහට එන අවුරුදු 4 ගන්න යන change එක ඉතාමත් ලේසි වෙයි. ඔයාලා මේ environment එකට මේ පරිසරයට ඔයාලා blend වුණොත්, right? පොඩ්ඩක් අනුගත වුණොත් ඔයාලගේ transformation එක හරිම ලේසි වෙයි. So therefore just at least have a virtual walk around the university. The technology is there. You don't need to be physically here, but you can use virtual technologies so that you can have a walk around in the university. It's a nice place. So then when you are back, you can feel it in real, right? So your journey has started, as I said. So this is our input right here, right? Right here. So you are going for a transformation and you are going to achieve something in your respected subject areas. You are going to achieve, and finally you are going to contribute to the entire society. Right? This would be your ultimate objective, but going to that objective is not a straightforward one, right? It is not a straightforward one. There are so many obstacles that you have to face. There will be so much of challenges, right? As individuals, we will be having challenges, as well as due to the dynamic changes in our environments, right? Economical changes, social changes, and environmental changes. So there will be so much different sets of challenges that you have to face towards your journey, towards the graduation, right? You can see the environments, right? In our university. Okay. So probably you have, I think you already have seen such, you have taken such experience, maybe from social media, maybe from different other sessions that were conducted. So this is the, I would say, this is the specification of our products, right? I would say the specifications that we are expecting from our graduates. අවසානයේ අවුරුදු 4කට පස්සේ අපි ප්‍රොඩියුස් කරන ඔයාලා අපේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක්. දැන් ඔයාලා අපේ ඉන්පුට් එකක් විදිහට ඇවිත් තියෙන මේ process එකේ ගියාට පස්සේ අපි අවසානයේ අපි හදන ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක සබරගම යුනිවර්සිටි එකෙන් හදන ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකේ characteristics ටික තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. ලක්ෂණ ටික. Right? So the product should be an effective communicator. Product should be a career-ready learner and lifelong learner, collaborator, innovator, and a leader, and a critical thinker, responsible decision maker. So fourth year graduate, you have to have these characteristics. And also I'm not going to discuss the sub-characteristics of each of these elements, but carefully read these. Then you will be able to understand your gap. මෙන්න මේ කියන hypothetical මේ කියන්නේ මේ visualize කරලා තියෙන scenario එකයි අතර you can identify the gap, so that then you can start working towards that. And also going to this level, getting up to this level is the minimum requirement. මේකට එන එක තමයි අපේ බලාපොරොත්තුව. It doesn't mean that you have to stop there, but you can go beyond that, right? So this is kind of a minimal standard, but you can go beyond that, and you can set best practices. We call it best practices. ඔයාලා එතනින් එහාට ගිහිල්ලා දේවල් කරොත්, so you can set examples, right? You can set examples for the entire community. So keep in your mind that this is for the entire university, the characteristics of our final product, which is a graduate. So we require these skills. We require these set of expectations from our final product. And for your and we have developed these graduate profiles for the faculties and for the different degree programs as well. So I think that is already mentioned in your handbooks. Please go through that, the graduate profile specifically designed for your program, maybe for your degree program, or maybe for your faculty, so that you can understand where you want to be after 5 years, so after 4 years of time, right? So then you can understand, right? You can, as I said earlier, several times, you can understand the gap, and also you can understand the phase that you need to maintain. ඔයාලා කොච්චර වේගෙන් දුවන්න ඕනද කියලා තීරණය කරගන්න පුළුවන්. By knowing where you are. ඔයාලා දැන් ඉන්න තැන තේරුම් අරගත්තට පස්සේ, ඉන්න ඕන තැන දැනගත්තට පස්සේ ඔයාලා කොච්චර වේගකින් මේක යන්න ඕනේද? So that is different for different individuals here, right? Because they have different capacities, they have different knowledge levels, they have different perceptions. So therefore, having identified that, you can it doesn't matter where you are right now, but you can start from where you are, then you can go to that level in a different phases, right? සමහරලාට යන වේගින් වෙන කෙනෙක්ට යන්න බැරි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. But ultimately, you all should pass the you all have to pass the line, right, at the end, right? It doesn't matter how slow you go, it doesn't matter the phase that you take, and also it doesn't matter the different visions that you have, right? But make sure that you pass the lines, and beyond that, it for you to obtain, you can get the competitive advantage, right? It will benefit you in numerous ways. Ultimately, it will contribute to the development of the country, right? So, but there are instances where I think it's better to share that even the students, they don't really understand this. So therefore, sometimes they reluctant to go to the cross line. They are magin navathina marathon. This is a marathon, right? So you have to complete it. If you have started, you have to complete it, right? And you have to go beyond that, right? So you are not supposed to stop at midway, right? So you have to take that challenge. It is a challenge, right? Okay, so the transformation, there are different, I would say that there are different sets of strategies are in place to make the transformation happen. Make you a transformation, transform කරන්න, we have different sets of, we have different kind of strategies in place. අපි ගාව එක එක උපක්‍රම තියෙනවා, right? One thing is, we give you academic knowledge, right? We give you academic knowledge, we give you academic directions, right? Academically, we give you directions, and also we deliver knowledge, and we try to sharpen your skills, right? Although we provide such things, although the environment is there, all these processes are there, it is up to you guys, or the individuals, to take such things, right, and make the transformation happens, right? What we give is the guidance and the other different sets of resources for to make the transformation happens. As individuals, you should know how to utilize such resources and different strategies for the transformation as individuals. Individual transformation again කතා කරමු. Then it is very easy for us to discuss maybe transformation of groups, maybe batches, maybe entire university. We can think of that later on. But individually, you have to think where should you go, right? Where should you go by utilizing the resources, all the resources that we have in our university. So that is something that you need to keep in your mind, right? මේ වගේ තමයි, right? දරඹුවකින් බිත්තර වලින් දරඹුවේ බිහි වෙලා ඒකෙන් සමනලෙක් එන තැනකට වෙනකම්. So it's sort of a transformation. You will go through different sets of stages in the university as well. මේක stage එකක්. ඔයාලා දැන් ඉන්නේ stage එකක්. ඒ stage එකෙන් stage එකට phase එකෙන් phase එකට යනකොට you will see, you will experience different setups. You will feel different setups, right? So these are some examples. During our days, we didn't have this number of students, right? We had only 25 students in our batch in Natural Resources Department of Natural Resources. So I think we have utilized the resources that we were provided for the transformation, right? So these are some photographs that we have taken during our field visits, right? Yes. And probably you will see these wonderful people out there in the faculty, in and around, right? Actually, I'm not included all the staff of the faculty, but mostly these wonderful personnel are from Department of Natural Resources since I was there. So you can see how we have taken the things effectively, right? Okay, so let me, before going to the other part, let me give you some more insights, right? What you have to do actually. So if you remember, our title is for balancing academic activities and extracurricular activities. So that includes two things: academic activities plus extracurricular activities. So as in very first introduction, Deep Chandi madam also emphasized that if you are doing something, you have to do it to the fullest. That is also one of my advices. If you are going for academic excellence, if you are going for improve your academic performance, you have to do it to your fullest, right? සරලව කිව්වොත් තැඹිලි විකුණනවා නම් තැඹිලි විකුණුවත් කමක් නැහැ, හැබැයි ඒක කරන්න පුළුවන් උපරිමයෙන් කරන්න ඕනේ. So that you have to plant in your brains. So if you are assigned with any sort of work, any sort of assignment, you have to perform to its best, right? So you can benchmark yourself, right? මොනවා හරි assignment එකක්, මොනවා හරි වැඩක්, ඕනම දෙයක්, not inside the university, but even the other, maybe in your village, maybe among your community. If you are assigned with a task, you do it your fullest. That is one of my advice also. I do agree to Deep Chandi madam also on that. මොනහරි දුන්නොත්, මොනහරි වැඩකට ඔයාලා assign වුණොත්, you do it to your fullest, right? And you have to have a very good determination. You have to have a very good determination. So therefore, for all these things to take place, what you have to do first, you have to analyze, you have to think. Now you have to think where you are right now. You might be having so many difficulties, so many challenges. You might be having English, the language barriers, language challenges you must be having, right? And different knowledge levels, right? Different economic conditions that you all have, right? So that you have to identify that, and then you have to think of changing those challenges into opportunities, right? Transform or change those challenges or the risks into opportunities, right? You take that challenge, right? And for that, to get that challenge, you have to commit yourself, You have to commit yourself, not within the boundaries of the university, but even the outside. Even the outside, you have to commit yourself just for 4 years. You commit yourself. These are not part-time degrees. So stay here 24 hours, 365 days. Use the resources, right? So then you can develop yourself, right? And always you have to commit yourself, do something to your fullest. And also, yes, this is also aligned with the same thing that I mentioned. Do work beyond expectations. කාගේ වැඩක් වුණත්, තමන්ගේ වැඩක් වුණත්, වෙන කෙනෙක්ගේ දෙයක් වුණත්, යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ දෙයක් වුණත්, සමාජයේ දෙයක් වුණත්, expect කරන එකට වඩා දේවල් කරන්න. Beyond expected, you have to go for beyond you have to pass the expected levels, right? So you can do that, right? And the other point, this is a place where you can do all the mistakes. A university is a place where you can do all the mistakes. You can do pronunciation mistakes, you can do, right? වරද්ද ගන්න පුළුවන් හැමදේම මේකෙදි වරද්ද ගන්න පුළුවන් යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ. Then you know, right? Then you have experience what you have, what were your I would say what were your what were your difficulties, right? This is a place where you can do mistakes, and also a place where you can rectify. වැරදීම් කරන්න පුළුවන් තැනක් වගේම මේ දේවල් ටික හදා ගන්න පුළුවන් තැනක් තමයි යුනිවර්සිටි එකක් කියන්නේ. So therefore what you have to have the determination and also the commitment, because personal experiences we have seen. There were colleagues in our batch also, when they entered into the university, their language levels, for an example, the language levels were very low. But we have seen their, I would say, we have seen their the change in 4 years. We have changed. Sometimes now they are doing their higher studies as well. Right? We have changed that. We have seen the change that they have taken during 4 years of time. So that's why, as Madam also mentioned, you don't need to worry about the present status of you, where you are coming from, in which background you are from, and the level of language, level of knowledge, right? Level of capabilities. It doesn't matter, but what you want to have is you have to have a determination and you have to have a commitment, right? And the other point is, that is also a personal observation in my career inside in the university. The responsiveness. You have to be responsive. You all have to be responsive. So keep such qualities with you all, right? You have to be responsive of what you are doing and what you are assigned. So therefore, keep those things in your mind, right? And okay, now let me little lean into academics, right? So as I said, you have to pursue your academics. You have to go through a syllabus. We have a tailor-made syllabus for different degree programs, different departments. We do have different syllabuses, right? So we will go through that. But what you have to do, you have to achieve excellence in your academics. That is the very first thing, right? From the day one onwards, you have to give utmost priority for your academic excellence, to achieve academic excellence, or to perform at your best in your academics, right? So that is the baseline. Other than that, nothing else will work. So therefore, you have to keep in mind, Mulimma, you have to focus on your academic work. So from the day one, you start working towards that. Right now, by this point, you should know what are the subjects that are going to be delivered in your first semester. What are the subjects that will be delivered in second semester? Maybe you don't know the concepts, and you might not be able to understand the course module, the names of the course modules. It doesn't matter, but at least you have to go through the course structures, what kind of subjects that we'll be getting, right? So you have to develop that also. So therefore, in terms of academic performances, you have to start from the day one, right? And also you have so remember this, it is a very important point. You need to track your progress, right? Of course, the examination branch will be giving your progress at the end of the semester with your results. So we deliver an indicator, which is the GPA. But as individuals, you need to track your progress, right, throughout 4 years. Then only you know where you are and where you are heading. කිව්වනේ අපි ඉන්න තැන identify කරගන්න ඕනේ, යන්න ඕන තැන කියලා තියෙනවා. ඒක යන්න තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි since it is 4 years, 365 into 4, it's quite a long time. So you have to make sure that you are going towards your goal, determined goal. So therefore, you have to continuously monitor your progress, how you are performing in terms of your academic work, right? That is a very important thing. There are students who haven't calculated their GPAs until the graduation. So that is not the case. That is not something that you should do, but you have to start from the day one onwards. You have to track your progress in academic performances, right? So that will tell you where you are going, right? Are you achieving the expected levels, right? That is the other point. And the other point, next most important point, extracurricular activities. So there are hell a lot extracurricular activities that you can do inside the university. That may be some aesthetic activities, maybe some the sports, right? Maybe the club and societies are there, and maybe there are different sets of extracurricular activities are there. Sometimes so many events are there. So use such opportunities for you to develop your skills, right? To develop your other skills, use such opportunities, right? So you need to develop your organizing skills. So you can join with different programs, right? You can help in organizing. So that will help you to sharpen your skills, right? So I will discuss more on this, right? The extracurricular activities, the different advantages that we have doing extracurricular activities, right, along with your academics. I also recommend all of you, all the members, all the students are here, engage in extracurricular activities, right? At least 3 to 4 extracurricular activities. It will not, sometimes it is a misconception, right? Going into a sport will harm your academic performance, right? It will reduce your performance in academic work. It is a misconception. What will happen is you get I would say you can enhance your capacity, right? Sometimes other than the other colleagues in your group, right? Doing extracurricular activities will give you more capacity, right? More enthusiasm to go through the academic activities. That is my personal experience, uh, right? That will release your stresses, right? Uh, so so then you can start all the things in a new phase, in a different level, right? So that you can perform at your best. So therefore, engage with extracurricular activities whenever you are back in the university, as in physically engage in extracurricular activities as much as possible. So that is my advice, because we can actually manage the attending the lectures. All these things we can manage, but utilize your other times for extracurricular activities. That is also something that we all need to develop, right? So therefore, extracurricular activities, there might be some activities where you can go and join, right? Like sports, there are so many sports, um, starting from cricket, right, rugby, football, hockey, right, athletics, right, maybe basketball, swimming, right, taekwondo, karate, badminton, whatever, table tennis, all these sports are there, right? So engage with those, right? Engage with those, so that will enhance your capacity actually, and also it will improve your physical well-being. So the physical well-being also important. That is one of the main thing, right? මොනවා කරත් වැඩන්නේ අපි physically fit නැත්තම්, right? මම දන්නම කරලා ස්පෝර්ට් එකේ ළමයි ඉන්න. ඉතින් අපි එයාලා නම් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් එකට එහෙම යනවා. So we need to see people on the ground, right? So therefore we have to be physically fit, right? You all have to be physically fit to take on the other the academic related things, right? And as I said, so there are some opportunities where you can straight away go and engage, and sometimes there will be some opportunities uh, like might be voluntary. කැමති නම් සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒ වගේ ඒවා තියෙනවා. So but you take such opportunities, you grab those opportunities and you perform at it best, right? ඔයාලගේ උපරිමයෙන්ම ඒ opportunity එකක් ගත්තොත් මොකක් හරි උදාහරණයකට අපි හිතමු organize කරන්න program එකක් දුන්නොත් you do at your best, right? There you will develop large number of skills by doing a very single, maybe a program. Let's say it's a 1-day program, right? You are assigned with organizing the whole program. So what how 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 many skills that you will develop at the end of the day? You will develop your organizing skills. You will develop the communication skills, right? How you deal with other people, and you will find access to different resources. So all these things are skills. So you have to do such things, because at the end of 4 years, we need to take you to that level. So my point is, going through these maybe going through the modules, or the modules in the syllabus itself will not give that level of things for you to absorb. සිලබස් එක ඉගෙන ගත්තා කියලා විතරක් එකෙන් ඒකෙන් ඩෙවලොප් වෙන දේවල් ගොඩාක් තියෙනවා. සබ්ජෙක්ට් රිලේටඩ් මැටර්ස්, සබ්ජෙක්ට් රිලේටඩ් ඇසෝසියේෂන්ස් තියෙනවා, ඒ වගේ වැඩ තියෙනවා. So you can engage with that, but engage in sports, especially, and some aesthetic events, maybe arts, maybe there is a music center, right? Those who like to sing, you can go and sing. There is an art center. So all these things are here. So we need people, we need you guys to engage with that, because that will develop large number of skills, right? So the opportunities don't happen, you create them. How it how we creates, when you assigned with the task, at first instance you have to show your level of achievement. පළවෙනි හම්බ වෙන පළවෙනිම opportunity එකෙන් you show yourself capacity, or you show your capability of doing that, right? වරදින්න පුළුවන්, සෑහෙන වරදිනවා, but you do at your fullest, right? So then the opportunities, the doors will open. The doors will open up for you to grab more opportunities. So that is how you have to develop. So I'm talking not only within the university, but also in the outside. එකත් එක important there. University එකට ආවා කියලා university doesn't mean that within the fence, වැටේ ඇතුලේ තියෙන එක විතරක් නෙමෙයි university. You have to think beyond that. There are so many things happening around. So there are so many things like there are different programs happening around, not inside the university, outside, right? Maybe some training programs, maybe sometimes the CSR programs, right? Maybe webinars, right? So you try to engage with them, engage with such activities as well, so you can develop your network from that, right? You can develop. However, once you come inside the university, you will develop a very good network, but you have to go beyond that, right? You have to develop your outside network as well. So you try to expose to different setups, right? Continuously for 4 years, right? සමහරලාට we don't know. අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන level එකේ දේවල් නෙමෙයි වෙන්න පුළුවන් එළියේ තියෙන. හැබැයි you expose yourself because you need to understand. ඒකයි මම කිව්වේ, this is a place where you can do mistakes, you can where errors can happen, and also this is the place where you can correct them. Once you are in corporates, or in business environments, you can't make such errors or the mistakes. There the people will laugh at you, right? But inside the university, you can do errors, you can do mistakes, no one will laugh at you, right? So that is the main point. And also let me share one of my experience. As madam also said, I captained the swimming team in 2016, right? So there was one girl, she has never been into a pool when she came into the practices. Pool එකට එනකොට pool එකක පීනලා තිබ්බේ නැහැ. හරිද? අතම කිව්වොත් මේ deep end එකටවත් ගියේ නැහැ. shallow end එකෙන් තමයි මේ ඉනිමගෙන් තමයි බැහැගත්තේ pool එකට. So she became the captain, one of the girls in sports sciences, in the Department of Sports Sciences. She captained the team in 2017, right? So we saw her enthusiasm, we have seen her commitment. She was there early mornings at 6 a.m. You know how cold it is. In 6 a.m. in every morning, she was there in the swimming pool, right? So that's why we are telling you, it doesn't matter from where you come from, what levels that you have, it is the commitment and the dedication that you have with you, right? So therefore, keep that in your mind. So there are real examples that we can share. There are plenty of examples, and also one example shared by Deeptandi Madam also in her introduction. So we have seen that even with the language, right? Like English වචනයක් එක වාක්‍යයක් ලියන්න බැරි අය. Now they are doing their PhDs, right? So they have developed up to that level. Sometimes they are becoming the best presenters in finally a Viva. First year එකේදී අපරක්ක ලියන්න බැරි අය. English. So that is all about your commitment. I have nothing to say. මට වෙන වචනයක් නැහැ එතන කියන්නේ. That is all about your commitment. So that's why you need to identify your risks. That's why you need to identify your gaps. Right? Identify කරගෙන there are different ways, right? Like Misa, and this 4 years of time will not be very easy, right? Will not be very easy if you are seeking for a very high level of transformation. ඔයාලා ගොඩක් ඉහළට transformation එකකට යන්න යනවා නම් මේක ලේසි වෙන්නේ නැති වෙයි, right? Maybe you will not be able to go on trips as your other friends, right? University එකට selected වෙච්ච නැති අය වගේ ඔයාලට trips යන්න බැරි වෙයි. වෙන programs වලට join වෙන්න බැරි වෙයි, right? You will miss hell a lot such occasions, right? But you have to be determined for the transformation, right? So whenever you can, you have to engage with that also. But so you have to understand the topmost priorities, right? That is the very important thing, right? So මේ අවුරුදු 4 කියන එක මෙහෙම කරලා බලද්දී යනවා. So therefore you have to start all the things from the day one onwards. Okay, so these are some opportunities that we have received from our actually great personnels, our teachers, right? What they have given to us. Very, very, yes, there are quite a lot, but I'm taking few examples here. And I think right now there are more opportunities than we had, right? So therefore there are so much of opportunities awaits for you at your faculties, at your departments. So therefore it is for you to grab those opportunities, right? And also you can prioritize happiness, right? Don't get stressed with your academic work as well as extracurricular works. So okay, make them in a very, very leisure times, in a leisure manner, because that is why I told you have to start from the day one onwards, so that you can always be happy with what you are doing, right? So you can engage with your colleagues, right? You can engage with different discussions, right? All these things you have to prioritize. So this is how we have prioritized our happiness during our time in the university, right? We happen to organize cricket matches, some gatherings, right? So all these things we have done. So very yeah, I would say most of the people are here in very good positions right now. So because we have seen that up to what level they have gone, right? Not only academics but also with the other extracurricular activities, right? So therefore, so in each degree programs, in each department, you try to be iconic batches, try to be iconic ones, right? අපේ මෙතන ඉන්න එක පින්තූරේ ඉන්න බැච් එක අපේ සීනියර් බැච් එක ඇත්තටම අපි යාලා වන්දර ගත්තේ යාලා හොඳම ඩ්‍රාමා ටීම් එක. So they have gone up to very high level, right? So therefore, so that's why you need to identify your potentials, and then you can unleash your potentials in different ways. සමහර අය වෙන්න පුළුවන් ස්පෝර්ට්ස් වලට, සමහර අය වෙන්න පුළුවන් ආර්ට්ස් වලට, සමහර අය වෙන්න පුළුවන් මියුසික් වලට, සමහර අය වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඩ්‍රාමා වලට, ඩිබේට්ස් වලට, whatever. So you go up on the ladder, right? That's the main point that we have to think of, right? Yes, there are so much of places here for us to get, right. This is such a maybe all the issues that I said early in the slides, right, are gone off when we are blending with this setup here, right. These are some photos. The someone other. So and also you can do one thing that I miss. You can go trekking. There are quite a number of places where you can go trekking, maybe hiking, right? Now the people outside, sometimes from Colombo, maybe from Kandy, from other parts of the country, they are coming this place as because this is their leisure destination, right. අපි ඉන්නේ මේ ඒ වගේ තැනක, so we have to utilize that potential also. අපි මෙතන ඉන්න අය, so we have to utilize that potential. For the moment you can't, but when you come inside the university, you can utilize that potential also, because you see in every weekends, Fridays, people used to travel to Belihuloya and stay for 2 days and returning back to Colombo after having a good air, good water, and refreshing their minds. They are getting back to their work. So that's why I'm telling you, I'm repeating. So this is an excellent place where we can smoothly transform any sort of an individual into a higher level, right. At the same time, we have to we have to ensure that we engage with the university community as well as the community outside in the sense, maybe different organizations, maybe different individuals, maybe different teachers, maybe different scientists, maybe different maybe sportsmen, right. So we have to engage with that, and we have to develop that network as well. So then only you can be self-resilient when you are graduating. So you have to build that skill. You have to be self-resilient for any stresses that might arise from a very closer environment, or maybe from a broader change in the environment. So therefore, that we have to keep that in mind. And there are so much of beautiful destinations around and close by, so you will be able to visit them, right. So in our during our time also, we used to travel to such places, right. So we frequently visited that places, because we had a very balanced approach in academic and other activities, right. As a group, not only me, but we as a group, we had a very good balanced approach, right. When it comes to academics, we do that. We seriously get into that, and we work on that. When we get into maybe say now we are getting into a different program, we are going to organize a program, so we are getting into that seriously. So our focus, we change our focus depending on the situation, right. If we want to have a academic focus, we can do that. Whenever we need to have a maybe organize focus for organizing a program, so we can do that as well. So I think don't mix that, right? In an maybe let's say a fun event, right. You don't need to be there, like, right. I don't think that you need to be there with the academic things in your mind. So you change your focus to that particular case, right. ඒක නිසා ඒ තැනට ගැලපෙන විදිහට you change your focus, right. සතුටින් ඉන්න ඕන තැන ඒ වගේම සහ serious ලෙස වැඩ කරන්න ඕන තැන් වල ඒ විදිහට තියෙනවා. Now what another issue that we see among the students, so they lose their focus, right. So therefore keep that also in your minds. there is always time for extracurricular activities, as I said. So I would say you better have a schedule. You better have a schedule. Maybe you that also depends. Maybe you can go for a day schedule. Maybe you can go for a weekly schedule or a monthly schedule. Um, that also depends on you. I cannot give a tailor-made schedule for you, but depend on your capacity. So you better come up with a schedule. So these times are allocated for academic work. These times are allocated for extracurricular activities, so that you ensure that you are doing it in a systematical way, not ad hoc manner, but systematically perform such you perform your academic work as well as your extracurricular work, right? So that is also very important. Extracurricular activities I already mentioned, right? I also mentioned so many advantages of engaging in extracurricular activities, right? You will get multiple experiences, you develop your network, you engage with others, right? You will be able to understand sometimes complex situations, right? When you are making decisions, that will help you, right? And yes, so much of benefits, and you can refresh your minds and you can relieve your stresses, right? So therefore, there are so many importances of engaging in extracurricular activities. So for, until today, actually I am going to the ground early mornings. So why I'm going is, one thing is for my physical fitness, and also to relieve stresses and to refresh. So that is my other priorities. So you have your own way, right? You better have your own way, right? So maybe you don't need to go early every morning for the ground, but you can have your own way, because there are so many opportunities, the resources inside the university. There are different things, right? Unlike the previous times, but there are so many opportunities right now in the university, and there are some facilities also provided in faculty levels, right? You can engage with discussions, you can work as groups, right? Other than the lectures, right? So you can work together, right? Maybe during examinations you can study together with your colleagues, right? So all these things are awaits. So only thing is, you have to commit yourself, right? You have to commit yourself. So the physical fitness is uttermost important, right? කොහොමත් යුනිවර්සිටි එකට ආවට පස්සේ ටිකක් වැඩිපුර ඇවිදින්න හැම වෙලාවෙම අපේ යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ ඒක ගොඩක් හොඳයි. So right, අපි බලමු කට්ටිය ආවට පස්සේ, right? So you have to maintain your physical fitness, remember that. And also you have to develop your creativity, your creative innovations, right? This is a place where you can get them as well, get them out, right? Your creativity, your innovations and stuff like that, you can capitalize, right? And also you have to have a very good mental agility, right? You have to have a very good mental agility, right? You should be capable of absorbing and withstanding for different pressures. වෙනත් pressures වලට බාහිර පීඩන වලට ඒවට හුරු වෙන්න, ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාලා එළියට යුනිවර්සිටි එකෙන් ග්‍රැජුවේට් කෙනෙක් විදියට එළියට ගියාට පස්සේ it's a different environment. It's a different sets of environment outside. So therefore you have to train yourself. These 4 years you can train yourself how to be resilient, how to be agile. So then it will be easy for you to remain or perform once you are graduated and going for the working environment. And you should be self-confident. You should be confident enough of yourself. So that's why I told you, you have to understand your I would say your weaknesses. Yes, that's the correct word. You have to understand your weaknesses, and then you have to find solutions for that, right? Then you can develop your self-confidence, right? Self-confidence you can develop. And the teamwork, this matters a lot, as I said, because we have 200 people here with how many perceptions? 200 perceptions and 200 ideas, 200 innovative ideas, right? And 200 setups, right? 200 risks, 200 challenges at least, right? So therefore, you take all together and see them as your potentials, right? Work as teams. Even in this online mode, I think there are enough technology available for you to do that, right? So you continue you frequently discuss with others as groups, not as individuals. So that will help you to train more, right? Train yourself more, and that will help you transform more. So therefore, always try to engage in group works, right? We know that there are different personnels, right? I do agree that sometimes some people like to work individually, but that's okay. But whenever it's possible, you try to engage with your peers and then work towards your different goals, because learning from the peers are very effective, right? Learning from the peers are very effective than sometimes listening to us. So the peer learning, I didn't mean that only the academic work, but also the other, right? Uh, Peer learning for maybe on life, right? Not only the subject matters, everything. You can effectively grab from your peers. So why not going for peer learning as groups, right? So in this online mode also, as I said, the technology is there, the different tools available. So you work as groups right from the day one. So you develop that rapport with your peers. So once you all are in come back to the university physically, so it will for you guys it will so easy for you to engage with them and to go beyond that, right? So these days you can do that very effectively, right? You can have different sessions to develop your language, right? You can develop your presentation skills, right? Maybe you can take on different topics and you can discuss with your colleagues, right? So those are the things that you can do while you are at home. But once you back in the university, so there are so many things that you can do as teams, right? So, and also as a team you can achieve a lot. As a team you can achieve a lot. For all these things, your time management is very important. That's why I told you, by by understanding your capacity, your level, you have to develop a schedule, right? You have to develop your schedule. Even you don't need to physically be here in the university to do that. Right now you can have one, right? Um, right, you don't need to be wait until you physically come to the university, but you can start right away, right? You can start having a schedule and allocate some time for your physical well-being, maybe for mental well-being, for some other entertainment, engage with some other activities. So there are different large number of resources available that you can do virtually right now, right? As I said, there are different trainings, there are different information sharing sessions freely available and different courses available. So you can engage with such, but best thing, you have to have a schedule. You have to have a schedule, right? So once you're back in the university, you can change a bit your schedule to include maybe different sports, maybe different other activities into that. So these days you train yourself to work according to a schedule. Maybe no need to be written on a piece of a paper, right? Schedule in the sense, කොලේක ලියලා බිත් එක හැවට අවශ්‍ය නැහැ සහ එහෙම වැඩකුත් නැහැ. If you are not complying to that, schedule එක ගහලා බිත් එක ගහලා වෙන වැඩ කරාට වැඩක් නැහැ. Maybe the schedule must be in your mind, right? So therefore, train yourself for your effective time management and also the punctuality. When it comes to time, I should mention that. When you're attending lectures, maybe when you're going for the sports trainings, I may be attending some other works, you have to be punctual. When you're joining online classes, you have to be punctual, right? That is very important thing. Important thing. These are some activities that we have done, different cultural events that we did, right, during our time. We supposed to do in our night. So the people who are going to the Department of Natural Resources, they will be engage with such activities in the future. So yeah, so we haven't done it individual, but we have done it as a group, right? So these pictures are from I mean, like it was in 2015, something like that. It was 7 to 8 years. So we enjoyed a lot, and also we learned, and also we developed a very good network with other batches. That is also very important. Building a network. අදටත් අපිට මොනවා හරි opportunities අවශ්‍ය වුණොත් අපි අපේ සමහරවිට senior batches හරි එහෙම නැත්නම් junior batches වලට අපි කතා කරනවා. So because we have developed that network through different activities, right? And through these activities, you can develop your understandings as well among your colleagues. So therefore, given the circumstance, since you are at home, so you try at your best to engage with your peers, your colleagues, in different ways. You can use different strategies, right? Okay. This was in 2014. Yeah, 2014 we did the NR night. We played a part in organizing the event, right? So I think those are the skills that we are carrying forward with us. Whenever something happens, I mean, in a program, so we automatically refer to such things what we have done, right? From where we have, those are the places where we have learned a lot. The dealing with people, managing people, the most difficult one, right? Working with people, the most difficult one. So we have learned that aspects through these extracurricular activities, right? And these are some photographs from swimming team. So there were so many people around us helping us. So yes, so we are happy about that, and so that's why we want. There are people now. There are students. Currently there are so many students are performing at very high level. Sometimes, then so therefore, so you guys also get engaged. Also, you guys get on board to get that exposure, right? We know that now. Even we have so many achievements in the recent past from our students. So therefore, why not engage with that? So therefore, that's why I'm urging you to engage with extracurricular activities, which will never harm your academic performance. It is a misconception if you have so, right? So show your capabilities of doing extracurricular activities and also performing your academic activities. Yes, as I said, having understand your weaknesses and having understand your potentials, right? we would say opportunities, having understand your weaknesses තියෙනවා ඒ වගේම ඔයාගේ තියෙනවා දක්ෂතා. So you better understand all these things and then you set a goal, then you can work towards that. So when you set a goal, you have to be smart, right? You have to be smart. When you are setting a goal, the goal should be specific. උදාහරණයකට second year first semester की GPA को මම මෙච්චරක් ගන්නවා, and it should be measurable, and it also be achievable and realistic and time bound, right? So you have to set up a goal. So from day one, before going into the day one, you can do this. What would be your goal after 4 years of time? So set that target, then work towards that, right? Yes, as I said, you have to manage your time. You have to have a schedule, right? And be smart, right? Sometimes yes, you have to commit. Sometimes effort. Sometimes your effort must be go in vain if you are not using smart ways, right? Effort එක දුන්නට result එකක් එන්න දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක නිසා so you have to be smart on that as well, right? And this is also very important nowadays, managing your digital life, right? Digital life. Managing digital life is very important nowadays, since you are learning virtually and also engaging with other activities. Most of the other related activities virtually, you have to manage in a very effective manner digital life, right? So I know that most of you are into social media platforms, but for these 4 years, use them as also for you to as resources for your transformation. මගේ ඇඩ්වයිස් එක මේ දවස්වල social media use කරද්දිත් පුළුවන් තරමක් ඔයාලගේ transformation එකට help වෙන, ඔයාලට skills එකතු කරගන්න පුළුවන් ඒවට යන්න. I am not telling you not to go to social media platform, but use them effectively, right? ඒවත් effectively අපිට use කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඕන තරම් we have different avenues to do that. Yes, and this is very important. You have to organize your things, right, in a very effective manner. From day one, do that. You organize all your work, digital, work that you do on your computers nowadays. Now you are most of the time with your computers, maybe smartphones. So therefore, you have to be very organized in dealing with your work. So there are so many things that the technological things are there for us to manage our things very easily. So you find your own way, right? You find your own way. So if you ask me right now, I can go to my first semester subjects, and I can get the past papers, maybe lecture notes. All the things are with me even for now, because the learning never stops. So whenever, if I find anything that I need to go and find, sometimes I refer to the first semester in a subject. I go and find my lecture notes, because still I have all these things in a very organized manner. So you have to be organized. There is no, as I said earlier also, there is no tailor-made way that you can organize your stuff, but that is also depends on you individual capacity. You have to come up with an organization, with organizing your things, right? Either this digital or the documents, e-documents, as well as maybe your other physical documents like the notes and everything. You have to manage them very organized manner. And yes, you can connect to clouds, right? There are different clouds available, like for example the Google Drive. You can store everything on that, right? Your digital files, and you can access from anywhere you want, right? You don't need to get to your computer to access such files. So I know, I'm pretty sure that you have things more than this, but I'm telling you the basics, right? So therefore sometimes you are performing more than this, sometimes at this level. So if you are not performing at this level, maybe you can think of, right, managing your digital life also very important, right? Nowadays, especially. Communication skills, that's why I asked you to engage with your peers, colleagues, virtually, or maybe if you can arrange some things with your peers, colleagues, you do that, and you keep on communicating with them to develop that. So yes, starting from day one, you will have a huge, you have to have a very determined, yes, you have to be very determined, and also you have to be committed. So therefore, you have to have a very good effort, right, to get to the level that you all are requiring, right? So then only we can match our skills into the future job or demands of the communities, right? ඉස්සර අපෙන් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන දේවල් ඩිලිවර් කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන අපි මේ විදිහට හැම පැත්තෙන්ම අපි ඩිවලොප් කරගත්තොත්, right? With that, yes, these are some photos that, right, power of teamwork. So then having everything, you can strive for success without any hesitation, right? Balancing your academic activities or the performance. So we balancing in the sense, we need to see you achieve academic excellence as well as you achieve excellence in extracurricular activities. So at the end, we all know that it's a very good product that we have produced from the university itself, and capable of catering to the evolving demands of the communities, right, of the countries, global, at the entire global at large. So those are the things that I would like to share with you guys. So if you have any questions, this is the time. So this is a whole bunch of batch. This includes 4 departments: Department of Natural Resources, Department of Sports Sciences, Physical Education, Department of Physical Sciences, as well as Department of Food Sciences. So this is all what we had in that time. So anyway, that's the end of my, I would say, talk, or the sharing my experience and things. So if you have any concerns, or if you want to clarify things, it's now time. If not, yes, anything that you need to know in addition to this. Actually, I would like to hear your voices. Anything that you need to know, please, you may use chat box as well. Anything that you need to know. You have to be you have to be, and also you should raise questions, right? And it's a university එකේදී අනිවාර්යෙන් you have to ask questions to clarify things, right? වෙන කවුරු කතා කරනකම් ඉන්න අවශ්‍යත් නැහැ. So you can open up your mouths, maybe not in this session, but when you start your lectures, right? Don't wait for others, right? You take the move forward, you take the first step forward, right? Then others will follow, right? So there is no one specific person in a batch who take the first step forward. We want all of you to take your steps forward. So that is very important. That is also something lacking with our students, right? Sometimes they wait for others to start. So who's going to start? No one will, right? So therefore you have to take the first step. And also remember that this is a place where you can do mistakes, and this is a place where you can do where the errors can happen, but this is also the place where you can resolve, rectify all these issues. Okay. I think probably everything is clear. Maybe nothing is clear, but yes, we will meet someday. Please do not hesitate to talk to me if I meet maybe at any occasion at the university. Yes, of course. Yes, sir. Will we be able to join societies from the first year? Yes, of course. I am also aware that in Faculty of Applied Sciences there are a number of societies. Society for SNRS is there, Society for Natural Resource Management, and Society for Food Sciences, and for different departments they have different societies for academic purposes. So you can join right from the beginning and engage with the activities that they do. That is very important. Okay, thanks. Yeah. Yes, thank you for your responses in the chat. Only thing is when even though we are in different faculties, but we need to see our students are transforming. Can we select a language like French? Oh, normally like it's like this. There is a question. Can we select a different language like French? Very good, right? It's like this. Normally your lectures are delivered in English, right? Your lectures normally in the sense the lectures are delivered in English mode, English language. But we do have different faculties that offers different languages. For an example, Faculty of Social Sciences and Languages, they do have a different department for languages, Department of Languages. So they are offering languages. I think French, German, Chinese, French, German, Chinese, and yes, as I know, to my knowledge, if you're really interested, when you are maybe even for online lectures, you will be able to join. So try to find the lecturer and maybe the head of the department, then you can ask. You can attend the lectures. There's no limitation. Even you can come to the Faculty of Management Studies. You can listen to our lectures. Doesn't matter. Just make uh, uh, please notify the lecturer, so he or she will allow you. Yes, that is really good. Is there any opportunity to develop a spoken English? So in this case, I think right from the beginning you will be provided with some English courses, and also there might be some embedded English training programs to this orientation program. But nothing will work if you don't commit. Right? You do your behavioral changes, right? For this time, you watch English movies, you read English newspapers, you read English content in social media, in other different applications you use English. That is how you have to develop. There's no other way. I don't think. you have to use the language, then only you will be able to develop your language skills. එහෙම නැත්තම් මම මේකට උදාහරණයක් විදිහට කියන්නේ අපි ගත්තොත් අපි පොඩි කාලේ ඉඳලා ඉංග්‍රීසි පන්ති කීයකට ගිහිල්ලා ඇද්ද මේ වෙනකොට? සල්ලි කොච්චර වියදම් කරලා ඇද්ද? ඉංග්‍රීසි camps, training programs, courses, some other diploma courses. මේ වෙනකොට අපි හරිනම් සුද්දන්ට වඩා ඉංග්‍රීසි කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙලා ඉන්නවා. Nothing will work until you apply, apply in your behaviors. So therefore, only thing I see is we have to have behavioral change. So then we will be able to improve our English language. ඒක නිසා මේ කාලේදී මම කියන්නේ නම් තමයිලාට ඒක වැරදියට දකින්න බලන්න. මම කියන්නේ මේ දවස්වල සිංහල movies වෙන Tamil movies බලන්න එපා. You don't ever watch maybe TV series. Don't watch other languages. You focus on to English only sometimes, and also don't watch English movies with the subtitles. First you watch the movie without subtitles and you try to learn. You try to learn what they say, right? The conversations, you try to understand the conversations, and then you can improve your vocabulary. Like vocabulary එක શબ્දකෝෂයට වචන එකතු කර ගන්න පුළුවන් හැම වුණා. And you refer to the English newspapers, and you refer to the English sometimes news streams, right? Maybe you can use, if I specify, you can refer to BBC, you can refer to CNN. Those applications, mobile applications are there, so you refer to them. And sometimes they have different specific areas. For sports sciences, there are separate sections in such news streams for sports only, right? For NR, I would recommend there are different topics. They have different topics. Sometimes under climate change, they are posting different news items. For science, for innovations and all, so they are maintaining different sections. So it's a matter of installing mobile application. So why not going for such things? So you keep on reading. So that is how you can develop your language skill. You take the other things from the other programs, like maybe from English programs delivered by the university, maybe other English courses and everything, but you have to commit for that. So in first year you try to you allocate more time for that, to the development of your language skills, right? Reading and writing. So that is very important. So then it will help you to achieve more marks as well, right? එතකොට results වලත් ලොකු දියුණුවක් බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. Language skill එක සමහර වෙලාවට අපි දන්න we know. If we ask the same question in Sinhala, people will answer that is for that in a very good way. But these courses are delivered in English, and the degree programs are, the mode of the programs are in English, so that you will be given all the instructions in English. So therefore you have to be ready for that. So there is another question. Does height affect sports performance? I don't think so. I'm also a short guy. I don't think so. I think there are quite a number of people from sports sciences. I don't think so. But I'm also a very short guy. Right? There are plenty of short people out there performing very well. So what are the societies that we can join for extracurricular activities? As I said, for different departments, they do have different societies actually. For my knowledge, SNR is already there, Society for Natural Resource Studies. Those who have selected to NR, they can join with that. They are automatically enable and eligible for that. And Department of Physical Sciences also, they do have a different society. I don't really remember the exact name. Please go to the web page of the faculty, so you can find all the societies, clubs and societies which are there. And also the food sciences also, there is another subject association. Yes, is there any management courses to follow for academic qualifications? Yes, management courses. I don't understand this question very clearly. Is there any management courses to follow for academic qualifications? I don't understand this, but I think you're asking for sometimes maybe other professional qualifications you have to develop in parallel to the degree or something. If that is the case, I don't recommend for you to go for new professional courses, because we do have very good curriculum, we do have very good syllabuses, right, which includes very up-to-date knowledge. So therefore, why you are going for different maybe trainings and with stuff like that outside when you have everything inside, right? So therefore, please give prime focus to the academic inside the university. Whenever you get chance, you go outside and grab more knowledge. That is okay. But going for a training outside for the same content that we get from the university will I don't think it is going to be help you at all. So therefore, better you manage your time, giving more focus to the subjects, right, or the modules. Sir, when will physical lectures start for us? I am sorry, I am not capable of answering that because I have no idea what happens in Faculty of Applied Sciences, because I am I'm currently working at Faculty of Management Studies. So therefore, I have no idea how it works, but probably you will be here in the university physically very soon. Okay. Okay, now given time has passed already. So anyway, if you want to talk to me, I'm Chandimal Ramatunga. Maybe you can connect to me. My contact information also there at the staff directory, and most of the information that you have raised in the chat are available in the faculty web also. So please go to the website, and also there is a separate Facebook page. So that why don't you go there and get the updated information regarding that. Okay, given time has exactly not passed on time. Now it is 11 a.m. So I think it's better to wind up. I think Deepchandi madam is not here. Okay, is that okay for me to wind up, Mr.?
Yeah, yes, sir. You can wind up.
Okay. Sorry?
Yes, sir, you can wind up session.
Okay. Okay, then thank you very much. And thank you, Faculty of Applied Sciences, for this opportunity. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir, thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay.